Hello darlings, it's Tess, and today I'm going to give you a little rundown of my 2019 New Year's resolutions.
Because I've got some things to say.
And my time looking super cool without glasses ends in 3, 2, 1. I just want to speak very briefly on how I view New Year's resolutions. Sometimes the idea of New Year's resolutions sort of carry this subconscious idea that whatever we were doing before must somehow have been wrong. When in reality, if you're growing and taking on positive habits, then keeping on that path is really the best thing to do. Rather than sort of weirdly projecting failure onto yourself and thinking that a completely new start simply must be what has to happen. So in the spirit of this, a lot of the resolutions I have for 2019 are similar to the ones I had for 2018. I've been fulfilling these resolutions through, trying my best.
I've tried my best.
And so now the resolution stays the same, and the action that I'm using to undertake it is what's going to keep evolving, just like it has been since I made the resolution.
Very well, carry on then.
I'll give you a look at my resolutions from last year, the ones that still stand, and then I'll give you some new resolutions that I've thought of for 2019 specifically as well. I always try to shrink them to a few words, but also sort of poetic-y sounding words. This way they can kind of be creatively verbal shorthand for a greater meaning that I've assigned to them.
Pretentious much?
I just think I remember them a lot better if they are shrunk to as many words as possible. Really, Tess? I think what you meant was as few words as possible. And also to a few pretty words. So, a lot of the resolutions are kept noted down in my planner, which you've definitely seen before on this channel. I have a very specific self-care section of this planner. I've done artworks that relate to it, and I know I've mentioned a motto which definitely still applies to this year as a resolution, which is look up. From the Florence and the Machine lyric, don't make a shadow of yourself, always shutting out the light. Caught in your own creation, look up, look up. If you're interested in hearing more about my signature look up motto, then I actually made a video about it that's the very first one on my channel. But what it boils down to, I'm trying to balance the inner soul searching of meaningful creativity also with a lighter optimism and creating / experiencing happiness. That applies especially doubly this year for me because I'm going into production of my short film, and so most of this year is in fact going to be taken up by a very specific creation. I have to make sure that I'm doing that in a good way and I'm being the best I can be. I'm trying to make something that's truly magical that people are gonna love, but also not getting caught in my own creation enough that it's actually gonna do me or anybody else in my life harm. So, flipping into my little self-care planner section, here I did a very specific fold out. So from this section, I'm going to read you some of my resolutions and give you a little bit of an explanation about what each of them means.
Everything complicated.
This is a little trio of 3 resolutions that relate to each other, and they go like this. Relentless self-reflection, relentless self-protection, and relentless self-expression. Relentless Self-Expression is actually the title of one of my favorite dance pieces ever, choreographed by Easton Payne. Very distinctive, wonderful, abstract choreography that I just connect to so much. But I added the first 2 as a reminder that they all go together. Relentless self-reflection means being honest with yourself, areas where you should be kind to yourself, areas where you need some self-discipline and to tighten it up.
That's not it.
And then relentless self-protection, well, protecting yourself from things that might harm you in this world. Climate catastrophe, that's a whole fun game, isn't it? If someone is mistreating you, protect yourself. If a system is mistreating you, a system like misogyny or racism, then protect yourself.
So cast off the shackles.
But also the big one for me is if you are harming your own growth with self-hatred, then protect yourself from yourself. Relentless self-expression, which is just what I always try to do. I myself is expressed all over my room, it's my jacket, this channel, the fact that I'm making this video, I'm constantly expressing myself, and I want that to be relentless. Survival is winning When it comes to rolling along through difficulties, if it feels like all you're doing is losing, you are already on top of the game from the fact that you're still here.
You nice, keep going.
Do the right thing for the right reason. This is honestly so important to me that I'm considering making a whole video about it in future. Maybe I could. One really unfortunate thing I've experienced is that sometimes the things that you are telling yourself to do aren't actually bad, but the reason you're telling yourself you should do them is bad.
Oh no!
How the sentence should go is, I should get good academic results at school or at university because learning is a beautiful thing to do in life and I want to be able to do it and prove that I can work hard. That should be your reason, not because you're attaching your self-worth to it in a really toxic way. I guess that's just an example of what I mean, but just make sure that the drive that is pushing you towards this thing is a positive drive.
A most delightful way.
Stay brave. I guess that stay is the significant word use for me. This is why I think it sometimes pays to be picky with the wording of your, I guess, mottos or sort of significant thoughts. It doesn't seem like there would be much of a difference. It's just a reminder to myself that what I've already been doing is right. I have been brave already in life. It's just a little hand on my own shoulder. This way the resolution can be comforting as well as inspiring, and I think those two things in a balance are the most important thing for a resolution to be. Love in this realm is an important one, and I actually have it spelt with a capital R to say real and then the M on the end. I'm always working so hard. It's really easy for me to forget about my loved ones in general.
I was hiding under your porch because I love you.
It's literally amazing how much sort of anxiety about productivity and self-worth will stop me from doing something like that I want to do so badly. And then this one that says carry magic with you is a very big one for me. Things that you want to experience that you haven't yet. I think it was Serena Williams that said dreams don't have deadlines, and yet it's so automatic for me to think they do. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that I'm unworthy. Let's say I would love to return to Shakespeare and Company bookshop in Paris and sleep among the shelves the way I know people do, but the point is, I think it should be a great experience, not because my validity as an artist or as an adventurous person it's not really valid until I do that. So yeah, carry magic with you. You don't have to go somewhere or do something to find it. This is actually a quote by Helena Bonham Carter, and I love it so much. I'm gonna read it out to you, but we have her to thank for it. I think everything in life is art. What you do, how you dress, the way you love someone and how you talk, your smile and your personality, what you believe in and all your dreams, the way you drink your tea, how you decorate your home. Or party, your grocery list, the food you make, how your writing looks, and the way you feel. Life is art. Yes, Queen.
Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen.
So because I'm always so worried about making sure that the art that I'm creating is always good, this quote is just a great way for me to remember that everything in life that I need to keep on top of, like remembering to feed myself good food, that takes creativity. Like the fact that I have those things is beautiful, their presence in our life is beautiful, it's like art.
I did a glorious die.
Another one says, be a mirror ball on which others see their own light. I guess that's a way of saying be your best self around people, be kind, be supportive, be everything that they deserve.
Bond with each other. Can we agree to that?
If not now, when? That's a very common one. I think a lot of us have that.
No.
Okay, great. Those are some of my old resolutions that still apply. I'm now gonna throw a few of my newer ones at you. These are, you know, just fresher versions of words that my brain is throwing to me right now.
Pretentious much?
It's okay to do 5 things in one day properly, or even 2 things, rather than think that you have to do 50 things and then get burned out or frozen. Remember to do what you already know to do. It's thinking, oh nah, who cares, I'm not a real person, I don't need nourishment. Yes, you do.
Stand tall. Be proud.
Taking time away from digital work in particular, because quite a terrible thing about being sort of a filmmaker, writer, video editor is that everything to do with your career pretty much has to be done on a computer. So even if it's projects that you love and that you really want to do, it means that you're going to get kind of computer brain from staring at it too long, and we know that staring at a screen for too long, no matter what you're doing, is kind of bad for your brain, so that really sucks. But you know, I've always had craft projects and books and different things like that that I love to do, so I suppose that taking the time I spend doing them and really using it deliberately to break up time that I have to spend doing digital work, that's going to be a really good thing for me to do. I want to try and get in the habit of that even more than I already am.
Okay.
Another one is remember all of my worth and capabilities and not letting anxiety take them from me, because man, it can be easy to think that everything you've ever proved yourself good at is now disappearing just because you're doing the next thing, and that isn't the case. Just chill. Ignore the thought noise is important, especially if you have experience with having depression or having anxiety. It's so easy to get into a tailspin of just negative self-talk, and so making sure that you are rejecting that is just, there's just no words for how essential it is, really.
Yeah.
Remember, everything is under control except things that shouldn't be. So, for example, for my film production, everything is under control. All kinds of things need to be organized, but I guess the only thing that isn't under control are things that are better if they're not. Like, for example, I've got no control over what might happen creatively one day with an actor in a scene. Keep a balance between, you know, being fluid and mercurial in life and allowing these things to evolve organically and have these awesome things blossom in a way that you didn't expect. But then alongside that, things that you do need to keep an eye on, you are keeping an eye on.
Very good.
And last new 2019 resolution, a very, very simple one, is no matter how busy I am, keep making my YouTube videos, because they are such a distinct, deliberate, and concrete way to be doing what makes me happy.
I was just giving myself some good advice.
So that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed just a few fragments of the little words and ideas that I hope will carry me through the next 12 months. I would love to hear about what your New Year's resolutions are. Please comment them down below if you want. Subscribe to see more of my colourful and hopefully interesting or meaningful videos in the future. And remember, I love you. Keep going.